Hello, everyone. Before we begin today's lesson, I want to tell you something important. Many students start learning English with a lot of excitement, but after a few days, they begin to feel discouraged. Some students say, Teacher, I understand English, but I cannot speak. Some students say, I keep forgetting grammar rules. Others say, I'm afraid of making mistakes. If you feel that way, you are not alone. Every fluent English speaker was once a beginner. Every IELTS Band 7, Band 8, or Band 9 student once struggled with basic grammar. The difference is simple. They did not stop, they continued practicing. And that is exactly what you're doing right now. Today is day 5, and you have already completed 3 days of learning. Give yourself a big round of applause because consistency is powerful. Many people plan to learn English, very few people actually sit down and learn it every day. You are doing that, and I'm proud of you. Remember this sentence: I'm improving my English every day. You can remember this sentence every day. Keep that confidence with you throughout this lesson. Today, we are going to learn past tense and future tense. By the end of this class, you will be able to talk about your past experiences and future plans more confidently in IELTS speaking and writing. So, are you excited? So, let's begin today's class. Okay. Before beginning today's class, I wanted to ask some important questions to you. Are you ready to give me an answer? Okay, so the question is, what did you eat for breakfast today? What did you eat for breakfast today? Was it dosa? Was it idli? Was it bread? Was it tea? Was it coffee? Now that you in your mind one answer will be there definitely, you can speak out the answer that comes to your mind in English. Your answer can be I ate dosa, I drank tea, I had bread. Okay, very good. Another question from me to you: what will you do after watching this video? You can think and tell the answer that comes to your mind. Will you study? Will you complete your will you complete your homework? Will you practice speaking? In the first question, you talked about something that already happened. In the second question, you talked about something that has not yet happened yet. So, the topic that we are going to discuss today is past tense and future tense. Today, we will learn about the structure of both the tenses, IELTS speaking segment, some examples, some common mistakes that most of my students make, and some practice activities. And by the end of this lesson, you will be able to talk about your past experiences and future plans confidently. So, are you ready? Let's begin. Before I begin today's class, I wanted to tell you um we are discussing two tenses, past tense and future tense. For both these tenses, there are four types. Okay? Simple, continuous, perfect, and perfect continuous. That is the type. So, past tense, everyone, please look at the screen. Example, I visited Kochi yesterday. Can you find the word that tells us this happened in the past from the sentence? The answer is yesterday. So, whenever we talk about something that already happened, we use past tense. Are you getting? You can write this down in your notebook or wherever you are scribbling out the notes. Okay, so past tense talks about actions that already happened. The first type of past tense is simple past tense. The structure of past simple past tense is subject plus V2 plus object. Okay, example, I watched a movie. Another example, she visited her grandmother. Subject plus V2 plus object. Can you identify the past tense from the sentences we discussed? Watched and visited. Okay. So, another questions is I can ask you some verbs. I will tell the V1 form of some verb and you need to tell the V2 of that. Go. What is the past form of go? That is went. What is the past form of eat? That is ate. What is the past form of write? That is wrought. What is the past form of see? That is so. What is the past form of come? That is came. If you got all the answers correct, fantastic. If not, don't worry, we are learning together. Now let's use simple past in IELTS speaking. Imagine I am the examiner. I am asking you the question, what did you do last weekend? Think and tell the answer. Some of my students tell the responses of some of my students to this question is I visited my relatives, I watched a movie, I studied English. To this question, usually the your reply should be in simple past tense. Understood? That is subject plus V2 plus object. Another question, what did you do? What did you do last weekend? You can pause the video and tell the answer by yourself in simple past tense. Remember, IELTS is not only about grammar, it is about speaking confidently. So, whenever I ask a question in this class, you need to answer aloud. Think and answer. Okay? Moving on to the next tense, that is past continuous tense. We have learned simple past tense. Did you? I think you might have understood the concept and structure. Past continuous tense definition, or I can ask you one question before discussing the structure. Yesterday at 8 a.m., what were you doing? Were you studying? Were you watching television? Were you talking to your friends? Don't answer yet. Think and answer. I can tell an answer from my side. Yesterday at 8 a.m., I was teaching. Notice the word was teaching. Because of the presence of the words was teaching, we can understand that that action was continuing at that point of time. That is why we used past continuous tense. Past continuous tense means an action that was continuing in the past. Understood, and the structure will go like this: subject plus was or were plus verb plus ing. You can scribble it down in your practice book. Subject plus was or were plus verb plus ing. Some examples: I was studying, she was cooking, they were playing. Now, which word is helping us identify the tense of the given sentence? That is for past continuous, that is was or were. Okay, now we have so many pronouns in English language. I, he, she, it was. No, I, he, she, it, we, you, they are the pronouns. Okay, for that, was or where will come. You need to learn that by heart. With I always was, he was, she was, it was, we were, you were, they were. Okay. By practice, you will learn that. Now, let's test ourselves. Choose the correct answer from the options. I dash studying yesterday. What will come inside that blank? Is it was or where? The correct answer is was. They dash playing football, was or where? Correct answer is where. Suppose if the examiner asks you, what were you doing during your vacation? The answer that I can give, I was preparing for my examinations. Another question, what were you doing during your last vacation? You can pause the video and tell the answer by yourself in past continuous tense. The more you speak, the more confident you become. Next is past perfect tense. Past perfect tense is used when one action happened before another action in the past. For example, I had completed my homework before dinner. Which action happened first? Is it homework or dinner? Correct answer is homework. Homework happened first, so we use past perfect tense. Past perfect shows an earlier action in the past. The structure will go like this: subject plus had plus V3. Examples: I had completed my homework. She had left before I arrived. They had finished the project. Which word appears in every sentence? And the answer is had. That is your clue to identify past perfect from the sentences. Whenever you see had, think about past perfect. Now let's do an IELTS examples. The examiner can ask you the question, how did you prepare for your interview? You can answer, I had prepared well before attending the interview. Okay. Now I can ask you one question. Before the exam, I had dash. V3 form of the verb will come there because of the presence of had. It can be studied, practiced, or prepared. Likewise, some common mistake that students make. Some students will say, I had went there. That is completely wrong because of the presence of had. You need to use V3 form of the verb. So the correct answer will be, I had gone there. Understood? Instead of saying, I had eaten the breakfast, you need to say, I had ate the breakfast. Okay, now let's revise before moving forward. Simple past refers to a completed action. Past continuous refers to an action that is continuing at a specific time in the past. Past perfect refers to one action happened before another action in the past. I think you're understanding all the three tenses that we discussed. If you are not, you can write it down in the comment section. You can ask your doubts. I am here to help. Okay. So now we are moving on to the final, that is past perfect continuous. Don't get scared by the long name, past perfect continuous, three words. But the idea is simple. You started studying at 4 p.m. You continued studying at 6 p.m. Your friend called you. So before your friend called, you were studying continuously for 2 hours. In that situation, we can say, I had been studying for 2 hours. Understood? Did the action continue for some time? We can say yes. That is why we use past perfect continuous. You can write this definition down in notebook where you are practicing. Past perfect continuous shows an action that continued for some time before another past action. And the structure will go like this: subject plus had been plus verb plus ing. Examples: I had been studying for 2 hours. She had been working since morning. They had been waiting for a long time. Okay. Now, to do one practice activity, I had been dash for 3 hours. And in that blank, what will come? Any verb will come with ing form: working, studying, waiting, practicing, and so on. Now, from an IELTS speaking perspective, suppose the examiner can ask you like this: how long had you been preparing before uh, taking IELTS? You can give the answer in past perfect continuous tense because that is how the question is framed. I had been preparing for IELTS for 6 months before taking the test. Understood? Okay. Now, let's see how much you remember. I visited Delhi last year. Which tense is that? That is simple past tense. I was studying at 8 p.m. Which tense is that? That is past continuous. I had completed my homework before dinner. Which tense is that? Past perfect. I had been studying for 2 hours. Which tense is that? That is past perfect continuous. Give yourself 4 points if you got all answers correct. If not, no problem, you are learning. Now let's learn future tense. We are moving from the past to the future. I have a question to you. What will you do tomorrow? Will you go to work? Will you attend college? Will you study English? You can think and tell the answer, but all the answers should be about the future. That is why we use future tense. Okay? Future tense talks about actions that will happen later. The first type of future tense is simple future tense. Let's start with the easiest future tense, that is simple future tense. And the structure will go like this: subject plus will plus be one form of the verb. Examples: I will study tomorrow. She will call you later. They will attend the meeting. Which word appears in all the sentences? That is will. Whenever you see will, your brain should immediately think about future. Now, one practice activity: I dash study tomorrow. According to simple present tense, the correct answer will be will. She dash visit her grandmother next week. According to simple future tense, the correct answer will be will. Now, from IELTS speaking perspective, imagine I am IELTS examiner. I can ask you the question, what are your future plans? And your answer should be in simple future tense. I will improve my English communication skills. I will improve my anything you can fill. Okay. Now, what are your future plans? You can pause the video and tell the answer by yourself. With speaking, your language improves. Keep answering all the questions that I ask. You can pause the video and tell the answers by yourself. Some common mistakes that my students will make is they'll say wrongly that I will going there tomorrow. That is very wrong way of saying. Okay. Because of the presence of will, because after will we use base form of the verb. I will go there tomorrow. That is correct. Okay. Now moving on to the next, that is future continuous tense. Uh, Imagine tomorrow at 8 p.m. What will you be doing? Will you be studying? Will you be watching television? Will you be sleeping? I'll be studying at 8 p.m. tomorrow. You can tell like that. The action will be continuing at a future time. That is why we use future continuous tense. Future continuous shows an action that will be continuing in the future. And the structure will go like this: subject plus will be plus verb plus ing. Examples: I will be studying tonight. She will be traveling tomorrow. They will be attending the function. One practice example: tomorrow at this time, I will be dash. Fill in the blanks with past, future continuous tense. It can be any verb with ing form: studying, working, traveling, sleeping, and so on. Now, from IELTS speaking perspective, the examiner can ask you the question, what will you be doing this weekend? You can answer this question with future continuous tense. I will be spending time with my family. I will be preparing for my IELTS exam, and so on. Another question, what will you be doing this weekend? You can pause the video and tell the answer in future continuous tense. Moving on to the next, that is future perfect tense. Future perfect tense talks about an action that will be completed before a future time. Let's make it simple. I will have completed the course by June. I will have completed the course by June. Will the course finish before June or after June? Before June. So that is why we use future perfect. Future perfect shows a completed action before a future time. And the structure will go like this: subject plus will have plus V3. Examples: she will have reached home by 8 p.m. They will have finished the project by next month. They will have finished the project by next month. Now practice: by next year I will have dash. All the verbs with ed form will come there: completed, learned, improved, finished, and so on. Now, from the IELTS perspective, how do you see yourself in 5 years? The answer, you can tell the answer in future perfect tense. I will have improved my English speaking skills. Very professional, very IELTS friendly, very natural way of saying. Now we are learning the final tense of today's class, that is future perfect continuous. And if you understand this, you have completed all major past and future tense. Ready? So let's go. You start preparing for IELTS today. You continue preparing every day. After 1 year, you are still preparing. How can you describe that situation? I will have been preparing for IELTS for 1 year. Understood, and this tense focuses on duration. Future perfect continuous shows how long an action will continue until a future point. And the structure will go like this: subject plus will have been plus verb plus ing. Examples: I will have been studying for 3 hours. She will have been working for 5 years. They will have been living there since 2020. Practice example sentences: by next year, I will have been dash. All verbs with ing form will come there. It can be studying, it can be working, it can be teaching, learning, and so on. So now let's revise everything. I will say the sentence, you tell me the tense. You can write it down in the comment section. Sentence 1: I studied yesterday. Which tense? Next is I was studying at 8 p.m. Which tense? I had completed my work. Which tense? I had been studying for 2 hours. Which tense? I will study tomorrow. Which tense? I will be studying tomorrow evening. Which tense? I will have completed the course by June. Which tense? I will have been studying for 3 hours. Which tense? The answers will go like according to the order in which we learned the tenses. Okay. If you answered all the eight correctly, give yourself a big clap. Now let's do a real IELTS practice. I want you to answer these questions aloud. Don't just listen, speak. What did you do yesterday? Pause the video and try to tell the answer in simple past. What were you doing at 8 p.m. yesterday? Pause the video and try to tell the answer in past continuous. What will you do tomorrow? Pause the video and answer. Where do you see yourself in 5 years? This is exactly how you improve IELTS speaking. Before leaving, complete today's homework. You need to write two simple past example sentences, two past continuous sentences, two future sentences, one sentence about your future dream. For example, I will become fluent in English in your practice notebook. Write your answers in your notebook. So, before we end today's class, remember one thing: nobody learns English in one day, nobody becomes fluent in one week. English improves little by little, sentence by sentence, day by day, mistake by mistake. So, never stop speaking because of fear. Every mistake is a lesson, every practice session is progress. Keep showing up, keep learning, keep speaking, and your confidence will grow automatically. Excellently. So, today we learned simple past, past continuous, past perfect continuous, simple future, future continuous, future perfect continuous. That is a great achievement. So, tomorrow we will meet again for day 6 of our IELTS marathon. Until then, practice English, speak English, think in English, and most importantly, believe in yourselves. Thanks for watching. See you in day 6. Bye, everyone.